Have you ever had that unsettling feeling that you're doing everything right, yet you're standing in the exact same spot you were a year ago? You're working, you're fulfilling your obligations, you're staying afloat. But deep down, you feel entirely stagnant. When we find ourselves in this loop, we usually blame our lack of willpower. We tell ourselves we're lazy. But that's a lie. You aren't lazy. You are caught in a highly sophisticated psychological trap. We call it the comfort zone, but the truth is, it's not comfortable at all. It's just familiar. But how does a temporary safe haven turn into a lifelong prison? It happens so slowly, you don't even notice. It starts with a single choice to avoid discomfort. Maybe you had a stressful day at work. So instead of working on that side project you promised you'd start, you sit on the couch and scroll through social media. It feels good. It relieves the tension. Psychologists call this the habit loop. A cue, a routine, and a reward. The cue is stress or boredom. The routine is retreating to what is easy. The reward is a temporary hit of dopamine. When you repeat this loop day after day, week after week, something dangerous happens in your neurology. Your brain creates neural pathways that automate this behavior. Your brain hates wasting energy, so it turns your comfort zone into an automatic habit. Eventually, you stop consciously choosing to stay safe. Your routine begins choosing for you. The comfort zone becomes your default setting, and breaking out of it starts to feel like a threat to your very survival. To understand why we get stuck, we have to look back thousands of years. Your brain is a survival machine, not a happiness machine. To your ancestors, the unfamiliar meant danger. A new path in the woods could mean a predator. A new tribe could mean war. Your brain evolved to love predictability because predictability kept you alive. So, when you stay in a routine, even a routine you hate, your brain rewards you with a sense of safety. It wraps an invisible cage around you and whispers, "Stay here. It's safe. Out there, you might fail." This brings us to one of the most frustrating paradoxes of human psychology. Why do we still fail, even when we put in effort to change? Think about it. You recognize you're stuck, so you try to break out. You buy a book on self-improvement. You watch a motivational video. You download a fitness app, you put in a little bit of effort. What we call minimum effort. And yet, a week later, you're right back on the couch. Why? Because there is a massive difference between passive action and massive action. When you are trapped in a comfort zone, your brain tricks you. It allows you to take passive actions, like reading about a diet or planning a business, because these actions give you the feeling of progress without the actual pain of change. It's a psychological illusion. You get a cheap dopamine hit of doing something, but you haven't actually stepped across the boundary of discomfort. Minimum effort fails because it doesn't disrupt the underlying habit loop. It's like trying to move a brick wall by leaning against it. When the minimum effort doesn't yield immediate magical results, your brain uses that failure as proof. It says, "See, I told you it wouldn't work. Let's go back to what we know." But playing it safe isn't free. It comes with a massive compounding tax called regret. In the short term, staying in your comfort zone feels great, Because you successfully avoid anxiety. If you don't apply for the promotion, you can't get rejected.
No rejection.
If you don't start the business, you can't go bankrupt.
Safe.
But psychology shows us that human beings suffer from something called cognitive dissonance. This is the painful mental friction that happens when your current reality doesn't match your inner potential. Deep down, you know who you are capable of becoming. And every day you choose comfort over growth, that gap widens. In the short term, you avoid anxiety. But in the long term, you inherit a quiet, chronic sense of regret. You start asking the most painful question a human being can ask. What if? What if I had taken the risk? What if I had spoken up? The tragedy of the comfort zone is that it protects you from failure, but it also guarantees it. So, how do we break the cage? How do we defeat an evolutionary system that is wired to keep us small? Most people think the answer is motivation. They wait for a sudden surge of inspiration to change their entire life overnight. They plan to quit their job, go to the gym 2 hours a day, and completely change their diet all at once. But remember, your brain panics at massive changes. If you try to leap across the canyon, your amygdala will trigger an alarm, fill you with overwhelming anxiety, and pull you right back to safety. The real antidote isn't motivation, it's discipline, built through micro changes. Micro changes are adjustments so small that they bypass your brain's threat detection system. If you want to write a book, don't try to write a chapter today. Write one sentence. If you want to get in shape, don't commit to a grueling workout. Just put on your running shoes and walk outside for 5 minutes. These actions seem insignificant, but they are psychologically revolutionary. Every time you complete a tiny, disciplined micro-action, you are casting a vote for a new identity. Motivation gets you started, but discipline alters your self-image. You stop being someone who wants to change, and you become someone who takes action. Your psychological thoughts dictate the boundaries of your world. If you look at discomfort as a sign of danger, your world will continue to shrink until even the smallest challenges feel terrifying. But if you can shift your mindset, if you can begin to see discomfort not as a threat, but as the literal sensation of growth, everything changes. The weight doesn't get lighter, you just get stronger. The unknown doesn't become less scary, you just become more courageous. Growth and comfort cannot coexist. You have to choose. You can have the temporary discomfort of stepping into the unknown, or you can have the permanent, heavy weight of regret. The invisible cage only has power as long as you agree to stay inside it. Today, break the loop. Pick one micro change. Take one tiny step outside your boundaries. Because on the other side of your comfort zone isn't danger, it's the person you were always meant to be. What is the one micro change you're committing to today? Let me know in the comments below. If this video resonated with you, hit the like button, subscribe, and share this with someone who needs to hear it. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.